Hallo.
Hallo, moin. Wir sind Lisa und Gregor.
Das heutige Video. Why?
We're trying real hard. We are trying.
Let me try that again.
Okay.
Das heutige Video. Why Germany doesn't chase freedom.
Yes, and this is brought to you by Brit in Germany. We will include a link in the description so you can go on over there and do all the YouTube stuff. He puts out great videos. We've done quite a few.
Yeah.
And oftentimes in his comments, you see Germans say that he does a great job.
Oh.
So that tells you everything that you need to know.
Yeah.
So head on over there and help him out. I'm sure he would definitely appreciate that. So this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what he means by this.
Yeah.
Like I have no idea what this means.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll find out. Before we get going here, go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Help us reach 10,000. That would be amazing. All right, let's take a look, see what this is all about.
So when I first moved to Germany, I constantly felt like I was doing things wrong. In fact, I was told that I was doing things wrong a lot. At work, I had to see my manager, but do my colleagues. I had to learn the hard way that digital forms, digital cash, and digital communications sometimes still do not even count. You have to have the hard paper copies. Like, oh my God, this is still a thing. At home, I had to wash the recycling. That's
what I heard is a big deal in Germany.
What?
That's a little different than some places. That everything's still the old-fashioned way. Everything is like, I don't know about fax, but it's more hand-delivered, handwritten versus digital.
Which could be good.
The bureaucracy, like when you're trying to get a visa.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it takes time.
Yeah.
Before sorting it correctly. And yeah, don't even get me started on the balcony geraniums. People were horrified.
Oh, the plants?
Yeah.
Oh.
And yeah, don't even get me started on the balcony geraniums.
Okay, we need some explanation on this. Uraniums?
Maybe he'll say it. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
People were horrified when they discovered that I didn't have any Rechtsschutzversicherung, which is like legal protection insurance. And yes, it is crazy to think that I survived almost 6 years here without having any Haftpflichtversicherung, which is like personal liability insurance. I mean, can you imagine? Back in Britain, these things were optional, polite suggestions at best, but usually just like kind of afterthoughts. In Germany, they're not just the rules, they are part of how life works. Not because someone's watching, although that might be part of it, but because the system only works if everyone does their part. And that's really when it hit me. This wasn't just about bureaucracy or cultural quirks. It's about values.
That's interesting. I know in the United States, one of the big problems that they had with the Affordable Care Act is that people didn't like the fact that everybody had to contribute to it.
Yeah.
You know, because they felt that they were being forced by the government to do something that they, you know, like they want the option as to whether or not they have to have insurance.
Yeah.
So when you didn't have everybody contributing, it messes up the whole thing. So,
right. We don't do things as a rule, as like how they do, where like that's what works.
Well, yes, and in America, one of the things that makes you more of an American state is the less rules that you have.
No,
So if you have fewer rules, then that's the American way, like Texas and Florida, you know, places like that. Like they just have, you know,
not at all.
Like they believe things work themselves out. Like don't tell me I have to put a helmet when I'm riding a motorcycle, or that I only have to go 50 miles an hour, stuff like that. So anyway, okay. Back to this. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Because once you've lived here a while, you begin to sense it, that Germany isn't structured around individual freedom. It's structured around shared responsibility, and that changes everything.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
The culture in the UK when I was growing up there valued independence, not just financially, but emotionally, socially, and philosophically. Like, don't ask for help. Keep to yourself, mind your own business. There is dignity in that, but it's also isolation. Like, we rarely talk about it, but British culture quietly encourages a kind of moral loneliness. To need too much is to fail, and to ask too much is to burden. And the key difference is that freedom in Britain...
That's a good statement he just made. What do you say? To need too much is to Let's just listen again.
Too much is kind of moral loneliness. To need too much is to fail, and to ask too much is to burden. And the key difference is that freedom in Britain often means freedom from obligation. Germany runs differently. The culture assumes not that you'll stand alone, but that you'll take part. Dabei sein, admittedly it's become a bit of a meme in recent years, but dabei sein means sort of showing up, taking part, and being involved. But culturally, it means much more than just showing up. It implies belonging, participating, and ultimately being a part of the group. And this is evidenced by the numerous Vereine, or the clubs and societies that exist all over Germany. You've got everything from the voluntary fire brigade to local hiking clubs. Es geht nicht ums Gewinnen. Hauptsache man ist dabei. It's not about winning. The main thing is to be a part of it. Now, there are numerous examples of how this plays.
Remember, we recorded a video. It's called "You Have an Organization in Germany that is completely voluntary." It's kind of like the Red Cross. It's THW, I think it was.
I think that's right. Yeah.
We did a video on it, but it didn't make it. They blocked it visibly on YouTube, so we had to put it over on Patreon. But that was a volunteer program that they did. That's huge,
right?
In Germany. So,
and I think it's interesting what he said that in the UK, it almost like they encourage individuality, which encourages isolationism.
Isolationism.
Yes. The reason I say it's interesting is because that's the stance of the United States right now. Is that America first, we do everything on our own, we don't need anyone. And because of that, it's becoming an isolated country.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Out in daily life. I mean, I have to talk about football here. England has some of the best players in the world and runs the Premier League, which is arguably the most prestigious league on the planet. And yet, as a team, they just never seem to be able to get it together. Watching Germany on the field is a totally different experience. There's less ego. It's not about individual players. It's about the team dynamic as a whole. Football is just one example, but I think it's a powerful one because it shows what happens when a culture values the system more than the star, and when team play matters more than individual glory. And by the way, if it sounds like I'm gushing over Germany, please watch till the end because there are pros and cons.
Well, so he's talking about football, so I got to chime in here.
Oh, right.
So, I mean, a big reason for that is that in the UK, or in, the Premier League is a lot about money.
Oh, right.
And the owners are what's important to the teams, and the owners are more interested in making money than what the fans think. In Germany, they have the 50+1 rule, which means that the clubs are owned by the fans. And so that you have, because the club is owned by the fan, they take a bit more interest in them all being together and doing it together. And those football teams in Germany fight for other clubs to maintain that. And there's been a couple clubs that have snuck in there and found a loophole in the system. And German football fans hate them.
Okay.
So I do know that it's about the community.
Yeah.
It's not about the individual.
That's cool.
To all of this, which I'm going to get into in just a minute. So this idea isn't just found in sports. It shows up everywhere in how people register their address with the authorities, sort their bins, or trust the state to know their location in case of an emergency. So Germany's cell broadcast system sends alerts directly to all mobile phones in a given area. No app required, no mobile phone number needed, meaning that if you have a mobile phone, they know where you are at all times, or at least they have the technological capabilities to do so. All major German mobile network operators are legally required to support cell broadcast, and Germany now runs nationwide test alerts. And when every phone in a crowded train station starts buzzing, it really becomes very clear just how interconnected things really are. So Germany's cell broadcast doesn't just warn you about disasters, it signals something deeper, that the state has a responsibility to care for its citizens and you have a responsibility to be reachable. Just on a brief side note, I did hear that they introduced something similar in the UK in 2023. How's that going? Let me know in the comments below. Germany now runs annual nationwide test alerts, usually in September, called Warntag or Warning Day. These are coordinated drills to test not just cell broadcasts, but also sirens and app notifications. And it really can be quite alarming when the sirens start shrieking. And on a related note, the requirement for everyone to immediately register their home address with the authorities can feel invasive, and from an outside perspective, it can even seem authoritarian. But from within, it reflects something else. It's a belief in preparedness, in order, and shared protection. And so, yes, these requirements to register your address, to be targeted in cell broadcasts, they are state-mandated systems, and it reflects Germany's deep values in preparedness, in order, and collective safety. And so individual freedom is not a key priority in this context. The system and the collective good take paramount importance.
I can see there's some people in the U.S. that would have a fit.
Oh, yeah, that would be a major problem.
About that.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see, I mean, we had to register here, our address.
Well, but here's the thing. It's like, it's all comes together. So like somebody in the United States might like it if they had free education.
Oh, right.
But they might not like this part of that. Like it's a mentality, it's a belief, it's a culture. You can't just have one piece of it here and there. So if you want free education and, healthcare and all of these things, it all comes together. So, and like what he's saying is from the inside, you just believe in community. Right. And helping each other. And so, yeah.
And people follow the rules in Germany not because they're obedient, but because the system depends on collective trust. Yeah. The rubbish is sorted because it's your job to keep the system clean. You're not allowed to do any work on your house after 10 p.m. out of respect for your neighbors. The state holds authority over how parents name their children, and they do not allow things like homeschooling, all because of this big picture image of a cohesive society that works in unison.
That's interesting. They don't allow homeschooling.
And they kind of have a say in how they name their kids.
Well, yeah, because there's certain names you know.
I think that's what it's about. When you just say that, it's like, oh my God, this is so authoritarian and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But it's to prevent certain names from coming back in history or whatever. And then no homeschooling?
No homeschooling, he said. Which I think because when you homeschool, oftentimes people homeschool because they don't like what's going on at the school. But in the United States, I can totally see that because at the schools in the United States, it's all about homecoming queen and king and the popularity group and this and that and all of those things. Right. So, and I don't know if it's like that in Germany. I know it's not. I have been told that it's not like that in Spain. Right. And they think it's hilarious that in the United States, it's more about social than it is about being a community.
Yeah, because what you see in the movies, it is true. And people find that funny that there's these groups, these popularity groups and the nerds and the druggies and whatever. That's the way it is.
Mean Girls and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's true in the U.S.
It's 100%
that's truly
true.
how it is.
It's 100% true. And so, and I was saying that to say that people homeschool their kids for that reason. Yeah. And those kids miss out on the social aspect. Yeah. So they become isolated and, and then it plays into whole America being isolated, blah, blah. But what he's saying is there's no homeschool. So that means that it's more about the community and the experience of being together.
Yeah. And I wonder if like places like Germany know how to handle like when there is an issue like bullying. Like in the US, the people just pull their kids because the school system's not handling the bullying correctly. Yeah. And they can't find any other avenue but to just bring them home and homeschool them. Some people. Yeah. And then other people, they just, I don't know, they just have this belief of individuality.
It's an ongoing challenge. It's been a challenge for years in the United States about bullying. What happens in Germany? I mean, I'm asking the people out there, if bullying is really a thing like that or not. Yeah.
So people really need to fit in, not stand out. And so where more individualistic cultures, such as the US or the UK, would see this as a restriction of personal freedom, here it is more about mutual responsibility. There is always this pervading idea of wider society at large, of being a part of something bigger. And so this is really about the individual versus the collective. This is the core difference. In Britain and the US, the self comes first. In Germany, the structure and the system comes first. Now, of course, I'm generalizing here a bit, but American values, and to a lesser extent, British values, prize autonomy. German values prize reliability, and neither is right or wrong, but they produce very different lives. One gives you space, the other gives you security. One teaches you resilience, the other teaches you trust. And one says, make something of yourself. The other says, we rise or fall together. And these cultural differences didn't just happen by accident.
Man, he is so true. And it's like, you make something of yourself in the United States. If somebody has a problem, they don't say, how can we help? They say, you should pull yourself up by your bootstraps like I did.
Right.
Like that's how it is over there. It's not about help. And that's why there's people, I used to sell healthcare to seniors, and they would get so excited when I could just get them an extra $10 a month. Right. If I found a way that they could get an extra $10. I mean, they like loved me, wanted to call me and talk to me all the time.
I know.
It's sad.
It was sad.
Yeah.
They're baked into the foundations of each country's political and cultural identity. And so to cut a very long story short, Britain and also America's model is still, even if it's loosely, but still rooted in classical liberalism, going all the way back to thinkers like John Locke and Adam Smith. And the core idea being that the individual comes first, that the rights are natural, that the role of the state is to stay out of your way. You can see it in the strong traditions of privacy, property rights, and political skepticism. In Britain, even the NHS, which is perhaps the most collectivist institution in the UK, is often described in terms of what the government provides, rather than something that the people steward together. Now compare that with Germany, where social systems are seen less as entitlements and more as shared obligations, part of the social fabric of society. It's not just policy. And so the US has taken British liberalism and turbocharged it, resulting in much more innovation, more freedom, more dynamism, but also more loneliness, more inequality, and more disconnection. And so
more depression from social things. And I in high school, I was bullied because I lived in a neighborhood that was rough. Like I was probably the only one that went to college. Right. And, and I wasn't one of those, but I got bullied and picked on. Yeah.
I'm sure you were the only one playing a musical instrument. Yeah. And
I was playing.
You got bullied for getting good
classical
grades.
Music.
Yeah.
And people would make fun of me because I got good grades and, everything like that. So, so it all of the individualism, to me, it just adds up to other things. So
I like how he said the U.S. supercharged what the British kind of brought over there, and then just supercharged.
And it's so interesting because, a lot of times people in the United States say, they have freedom. And this is what they would point to. That they have the freedom to, get health care or not.
Yeah, make their own choices. Yeah. They don't have to be a part of a system. Right. They don't want to be.
Yeah. You see why we left?
Germany's model is different, especially after World War II. In rebuilding itself, it leaned hard into social democracy, a model where rights come with responsibilities, where the state isn't just a referee, it's an active participant in ensuring stability, dignity, and social cohesion. And so the idea isn't freedom from government or freedom from obligation, it's freedom through structure. And so you don't get there on your own, you get there together. Now, this might sound great on the surface, but let me be clear, there certainly has its limitations and drawbacks. It is part of the reason why the state is seemingly everywhere here, and bureaucracy is an absolute nightmare because it's not seen as a governing layer on top of society. It is society. It is a well-known fact that red tape is strangling innovation and growth here. In classic German fashion, instead of just repealing and revising existing bureaucracy, In 2016, they passed the Fourth Bureaucracy Reduction Act, or the Bürokratieentlastingsgesetz, or the BEG 4, with more iterations following on in the preceding years, and all with the aim of reducing bureaucracy. And I think it's safe to say we know how that's going. So yes, the UK has social programs as well, but culturally it's still built on the idea that the best society is the one that asks the least of you. Germany, by contrast, asks more, but it does give you more in return. So I know I might be going a little bit too deep here, but this is the culture shock that most people struggle to come to terms with when they first move here. The difference in values can feel suffocating. You know, all the rules, all the forms, the social expectations, the particular ways of doing things. Some find it stifling, and it's where this stereotype of obedient Germans following the rules comes from. This emphasis of structure and systems over individual and personal freedom. In many ways, it seems that this is the price of stability. And you know, there are still pockets in Germany where strong individuals and free spirits thrive, like Berlin being the most obvious example. And most big cities today are far more fluid and international than the old cliches suggest. You know, the social rules have loosened, especially compared to the rigidity you will still feel in smaller towns and rural corners. But that raises a deeper question, one we rarely stop to ask. You know, everyone talks about freedom, but what do we actually mean by it? Is it freedom from obligation or freedom through structure? Is it the right to opt out or the responsibility of opting in? You know, from a British or American lens, it might seem like Germany gave up on freedom in exchange for safety, predictability, and tradition. But maybe that misses the point. You know, maybe freedom isn't just about what you're allowed to do. Maybe it's also about what you're trusted to uphold. So, no, Germany does not obsess over freedom. They do not chase freedom here in the way that Britain or the US might. But maybe it values something just as important. Maybe structure is freedom of a different kind. You know, in the end, it's not really about which is better. It's really about knowing what kind of life you want to build and the kind of society you want to help hold together. Thank you so much for watching. If you value...
Man, so... That's interesting. To me, freedom is not the fact that I can choose whether or not I want healthcare. It's being free from the fear of guns. Yeah. It's being free knowing that something could happen to me or you or my kids or our kids, and that we don't have to go bankrupt trying to pay for it. Like that, to me, is the freedom worth having. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah,
I could see that's why he was that's where kind of he's leading to. It's a freedom of not having to worry about those kind of things. Right. Not having to make those decisions and to be all on your own. You have a society that's there for you. Yeah. All right, let's take a look here. These are going to be some interesting comments here. They're long. Just read the long one because it's the one that has the most.
Oh, dang, you're right. Yeah. All right, let's take a look here.
Most likes.
Okay, the thing about the Haftpflichtversicherung is that it's not just about yourself. Of course, it protects you from financial ruin if you are found liable. It also protects the injured party. Oh, it's an insurance.
Yeah, it's an insurance.
So, for example, you set up a campfire that goes out of control and you burn down a number of farmers' fields. The crops may be worth way more than you could replace, and you'd go bankrupt if you tried. In that case, the farmer would probably also go bankrupt. So your insurance doesn't only protect you, but them as well.
Yeah. I mean, I like the idea of having insurance and kind of everyone, it being the norm.
Right. Because there's certain places where you don't necessarily, in the United States, you don't necessarily have to have insurance.
No, I know I managed several different apartment complexes in my time, and some of them required like renter's insurance. Yeah, and that renter's insurance was broad. It kind of covered more than just your apartment. It also covered you when you were out traveling and everything. And then I worked at some that it was optional.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and that's unfortunate for the person because like in the United States, if you have an accident with somebody who doesn't have liability insurance for you, then you're screwed.
Right.
So yeah. All right. So as a German expat in the U.S., you are equally known to government. You need a driver's license or ID, and it needs to be up to date. But in Germany, the registry also gives you automatic benefits such as you are eligible to vote. You are automatically registered. Here, I needed to register, and I need to inform myself when there is an election and where I can vote. Germany's municipalities will send you a voting invitation for every single election with all info, including if you want to vote by mail.
Yeah, it's interesting that the U.S. is separate like that. It's you have to register to vote. Yeah. And it's not a requirement or anything.
Yeah, it's not a requirement. Their poor communities are disenfranchised because they're not, sometimes you have communities where they can't make it to the voting booth or the voting center, for whatever reason, because they don't have a card. They don't have all these things. So
right now the goal to the Republican administration is to start banning and
mail-in votes.
Yeah.
And not because it's, they don't take into consideration that it's a convenience for the people who can't get to the voting center.
Right.
It's because the primary party that uses mail-in voting is Democrats.
Right.
They don't want them to vote.
Nope.
For obvious reasons.
Yep.
And then the other thing that's to me is just, I can't even wrap my head around. In the United States, they vote on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
And it's not you have to vote before work or after work or take the day off.
Right.
So yeah. So they don't put value on that, or they try and disenfranchise certain people. Exactly. Anyway, okay. Wow. Okay, that's good.
That was a good video.
Yeah.
He
that was
didn't
really
disappoint.
good.
Yeah, he did not disappoint.
Damn, we had a lot to say on that one.
I know.
But but I think it was good.
No,
sometimes people watch this because they want to see what we got to say.
Yeah.
So we might as well, do it for the people.
Okay.
All right. So we do have another channel, Greg and Lisa React. Over there, we react primarily to the UK and sometimes other countries in Europe. So head on over there for that. And we do have members here on this channel. We encourage you to become a member. You get what's called Coffee and Comments, where Lisa and I just kind of have a conversation with ourselves each week, kind of like we do, but just on something more casual.
Something more
chill. And then also we make sure to answer all of your comments. And sometimes, we're very fortunate and grateful that we have thousands of comments. So sometimes we miss out on some. So
especially if your comment, even a couple of days after the video posted, and you guys always have a lot of good stuff to say. Those comments sometimes get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
I'll there's a place in the background where I can look under the community and see some of those older ones, and I try to comment on those. But the members, there's a special place for you guys' comments, and I always see those.
Yes. All right. And like the video, that really helps a lot. Wie immer, danke fürs Zuschauen und bis zum nächsten Video.
Bis dann.
Peace.